Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Media News. The headlines. Renowned Zambian American-based evangelist calls for peace in the African region. High electricity voltage bans electrical appliances in LUSAKA'S NGOMBE compound. Details coming through after this commercial.
Hello, have you heard about Musika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Musika is here. Advertise on Musika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Musika, allowing your business to grow.
And other media news in detail. Several household electricity appliances have been destroyed in LUSAKA'S NGOMBE compound township due to high electricity voltage. Some of the affected appliances include fridges, television sets and radio systems. The residents have since appealed to Zambia's power utility company ZESCO to compensate them. Details in the following report.
Just when people thought they had enough endurance of the over 12 hours of load shedding, another issue has arisen in LUSAKA'S Mandevu constituency in NGOMBE's Kasisi area. Several households experienced power shocks from around 19 hours on the 28th of November up to midday of the 29th of November 2020. Several people have complained of having their electricity appliances damaged due to high power voltage, and Mr. Shadrack Nyambe is one of the affected residents.
So anabula mampavu maningi. So pa anabula pa na bana oh malaiti wabula mabuno maninga tova je chilimba pap na TV nayo pap mwame yankalira so vintu vyose vyaonongeka batu check refund kai ni mulandu wabo.
Mr. Nyambe took us to his home to show us his properties.
Ntaya ngono chabe chilimba chazima. Ati labda futi na TV nayo zi ndiye vuto amene takumana nayo pale. So sinzi wakapama ni kuchita bwanja hapa batutandize kwa mwame batatutandizira kabi na kupoi jaili hapa poi ametu nayo nao malaiti anali kuyaka.
The issue has been attended to by the power utility firm ZESCO, although the residents feel the measure is temporal.
So last time they came, once they came, wanakons, but still nothing. So it's just an appeal so that they can try to improve on this one.
We are paying to ZESCO. Let them offer us a good service such that when mkawatumira wantu kwao call center or service call center, they need to respond msanga because muno ni 1 billion andu alimo muri bana vili vonse vingachitike. Then this is rain season and then temporal measures are no afaka by join and tambo it won't work out because there is a problem mwana yaliri mantambo mwana onekera hapa there is a problem. So it's ndesha etipemba kuli wa ZESCO mwana timakwanisira kugula malaiti naise mtiranganeko pa safety yatu
light kuno kasisi yativuta every time muyankache yapolika epa ni yapolikira ni pamulyango side so bazesiko chanitipemba hapo bakire konze batikonzeko cha bwino malaiti because last week wenzeko banakonza but still more same problem this week yenzeko endi nangu kutu batumire bazesiko malaiti kwati yesterday tinabatumira after che yachitika maspark yanezotoka kumwamba kubatumira bazesiko ati ai tizabwira kubwera nero kungo batumira babwaka paenzeka pani kuma 15 hours pane babwira.
We are yet to hear from ZESCO if at all they will take responsibility for the damage caused to property to safeguard the plight of Mr. Nyambe and other affected residents, as efforts to get hold of the ZESCO Public Relations Unit could not materialize by broadcast time. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Chief Mumena of the Kaunda-speaking people has hauled Kansanshi mine through Kansanshi Foundation Conservation Farming Project for supporting farmers in his chiefdom. Nais reports that the traditional leader was speaking when he launched the planting season in his chiefdom in Kalumbila district of Northwestern Province. And First Quantum Minerals supervisor in charge of conservation farming training and operations, Maximilian Katanga, has disclosed that out of the total of 40,000 farmers trained in conservation farming, 5,000 farmers have so far been supported with farming inputs for this farming season in Northwestern Province. Nais has more in the following report.
Is taking a leading role in promoting conservation farming practice. Chief Mumena of Kaonde-speaking people in Kalumbila district is an inspirational his subjects. No wonder farmers are taking conservation farming as a new farming technology. The practice is aimed at increasing production, promoting crop diversification, and improving food security at household level. The traditional leader has launched the planting in his chiefdom.
With the coming in of partners such as PANA, we've also seen pioneers also come in. We appreciate and we acknowledge that this is the way to go. Coming down to the village people, coming down to the community level is the way to go. Kansanshi Foundation is providing the technology, is providing the knowledge, and they have their field extension officers. I'm just wondering why we are still practicing conventional farming when we know that we can do better under conservation farming. I think that this is one practice that must be adopted for the nation to record better yields.
His subjects who have adopted conservation farming technologies have also joined in thanking Kansanshi Mine through Kansanshi Foundation Conservation Farming Project for the support.
Santira bakansanshi mukunengeja kumakumobe tunengeja mubya kudza. Ya kwamba kine vibe ne kuvudzirako kukiyo twabanga kara.
Maximilian Katanga is supervisor in charge of conservation farming training and operations for First Quantum Minerals.
Conservation farming project under Kansanshi this year has sponsored 5,000 farmers in growing maize. We've also sponsored about 300 farmers in growing soybeans and about 250 farmers growing groundnuts.
PANA and Pioneer Seed Companies who supplied the quality-made seeds to the chief and his subjects were also part of the event.
The reason why we are in partnership with Kansanshi Foundation is because we have one goal, and that goal is to enrich the lives of our farmers and to improve the livelihood of our farmers in Northwest. As PANA Seed, we are here to provide quality and high-yielding varieties to our farmers in Northwest.
They have quite a wide coverage of farmers in Kalumbila district and Soles and part of Mokindamo. So we are happy to see that we are able to work with them so that we are able to also showcase our products that we have as Pioneer brand here in Northwestern.
The conservation farming technology, if well utilized, would definitely increase production and household food security in the chiefdom. Krivach Tuta, reporting in Kalumbila district, Northwestern Province.
In other news, a renowned Zambian evangelist based in the United States of America, Dr. Francis Miles, has called for peace among African countries, especially those heading towards elections. Dr. Miles says elections should not be about bloodshed, but an opportunity to exchange notes on why those vying for the various political offices feel they are the best party or candidates to lead the people of any given country. He says violence only breeds destruction in a country, stating that the growth of any nation depends on its peaceful political and social environment. Dr. Miles was speaking in an interview with Camnet TV News on arrival at the Lusaka International Airport in Lusaka. The man of God is in Zambia at the invitation of the Healing Word Ministries International Church. He is expected to grace a series of conferences organized by the church dubbed the Courts of Heaven, beginning on Thursday 3rd to 6th December 2020.
A renowned Zambian-born televangelist based in the United States of America, Dr. Francis Miles, is in Zambia for a series of conferences themed The Courts of Heaven. Upon arrival at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, Dr. Miles praised Zambia for maintaining the peace it has exhibited thus far. He has called on everyone to attend the conference for a life-changing experience. Aside from the conference, Dr. Miles will also conduct a church service at Healing Word Ministries International in Lusaka this Sunday.
Beginning on this Thursday, it's going to be a game changer. You know, we're going to be teaching people how to issue restraining orders from the courts of heaven against the attacks of the enemy in their life. It's going to be incredible. And then we're going to, on Saturday, the whole day, we're going to be dealing with how to break down evil altars. Because in Africa, we fight altars of different kind of people don't know how to shut them down so that you can move into your destiny. So we are going to be talking about how to take evil altars in your bloodline, destroy them by God's power.
Dr. Miles took time to advise the Zambian people to keep the peace they have even as the country heads towards the polls next year. Dr. Miles says Zambia is known as a beacon of peace globally, hence the need to ensure that peace is maintained at all costs.
Well, Zambia has always been a very peaceful country. So my word to the Zambian people is keep the mantle of peaceful elections. This, I think, above everything else, this is one of the most important mantles Zambia has. I think Zambia can be a model of, democratic, peaceful elections that don't result into violence like we see in some other African nations. So my thing would be, vote for who you're going to vote for, but do it peacefully and accept the results peacefully. I think that's important. Zambia must maintain that peaceful mantle after you vote. It's a very powerful mantle. Being one who travels around the world and sees areas where presidential elections lead to all kind of calamity, it's good to have a country where that's not the case.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NGOMBE, has called on the Minister of General Education to create spaces for teachers in line with the Meritus status. In an interview with Camnet TV, NGOMBE's General Secretary Nelson Mwale explains that the teaching fraternity has for some time now been recording cases of gender-based violence due to the growing mistrust among couples. Mr. Mwale notes that the distance between a couple due to government posting is now negatively affecting families. In the spirit of commemorating the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, Mr. Mwale has stressed on the need for government to reconsider such postings to avoid escalating cases of GBV. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwale has clarified to all the teachers that the 8% salary increment that was recently signed between government and the teachers' union is across the board.
You realize that we are in the period where we are commemorating the 16 days of gender activism. And so what we want to mention is that, of course, through consultations with the stakeholders like the unions, can, government through Secretary to Cabinet find ways in which a number of vacancies can be provided, because we are having a challenge where the levels of gender-based violence among our workers and teachers in particular is going very, very high. You realize that we have situations where a wife would be in Chama, a husband is in Porokoso, and so we have those challenges where it is the actual employment that has separated them, because you find in Lusaka there is no vacancy, possibly in Chama there is no vacancy for the other spouse to occupy, and so with passing of time or gradually mistrust develops in that couple, and so eventually you find whenever they meet, the other one would fail to trust the other one, possibly because of distance. The other one will equally fail to trust the other one, and so you realize that there's a lot of fighting within the couples. As National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NGOMBE, we want to thank our entire membership countrywide for the patience that they've exercised in the period that we've been bargaining with government on the improved salaries and the general conditions of service. And we must mention that our conclusion does not mean that we are not discussing further with government. I think there are a number of administrative issues that we will continue discussing with government, particularly the Ministry of Education, so that if there are issues that have not been tackled within this period that we are bargaining, we must be able to conclude with them, with the Ministry of General Education, because at the end of the day, there are a number of issues. When you talk about conditions of service, it's a general thing. There are a lot of issues in it.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, the headlines once again. Renowned Zambian American-based evangelist calls for peace in the African region. High electricity voltage bans electricity appliances in LUSAKA'S NGOMBE compound. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Thank you for joining me. Good afternoon.